What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered Live. We are live tonight once again, 9 p.m. start. We will probably be here for about 90 minutes and we will talk about it all, man. We're going to go in. People might call this crash out stuff. I'm not crashing out. Voicing an opinion is not a crash out. The kind of terminology that gets used by certain people where they say where someone's upset about something or has an opinion about something, they call it a crash out. I don't crash out. I just speak facts, man. I just give you data. I just let you know what it is. You don't have to agree. It makes you wrong, but you don't have to agree because we all know very, very well that had this situation been reversed, we would be hearing the exact same argument from the Notre Dame side. And we would be given the exact same argument from the Miami Hurricane side. See, we can all acknowledge that. And that's the part of the problem is that people don't acknowledge the truth of what it is that, you know, we argue the side that works for us. And the side that it should always trump all is head to head. That's all. Head to head will always trump everything. But before we jump in, welcome back, everyone. Lester, Greg, Jake, Patrick, Frank. Appreciate y'all jumping on board. If you folks are in the room, please leave a comment and hit the like button. Like I said, we'll be here for about 90 minutes. Appreciate y'all continuing to support this channel. Been dropping as many videos as I can, even on the Hurricanes Unfiltered Instagram, where apparently my videos are triggering some people, bothering some people. And I'm going to be real. At this point, if Miami gets in, great. If Miami doesn't get in, then so be it. Like, there's nothing we can personally do about it, right? So all we can do is be fans, support our team, and if we play in a bowl game, make sure you support these guys in the bowl game. Hopefully, everybody will play because 11 wins matters. Remember, 11 wins matters. Last year, to some people, it didn't matter. It matters because it matters how you get ranked in the subsequent season. It absolutely does. Do you think that if we started the season off this year ranked fifth, that it would matter right now? Absolutely. It definitely would. It absolutely would matter if we started off the season this year ranked fifth had we won our bowl game last year. Because 11-2 speaks volumes. It just does. And again, if we don't go to the playoffs, we got to go win a bowl game. We got to. And go 11-2. The first time a Miami Hurricanes football team will have won 11 games in 21 years. Or 22 years. Is 04? I think it was 04. Like, that's a long time to go between winning 11 games in the history of this program. Back-to-back 10-win seasons. Regular season 10 wins. He's not bowl game additional 10. Regular season 10-win seasons. Something to be proud of. These guys could have folded the tent after losing to SMU. They did not. All the outside noise, a lot of it from Miami Hurricane fans, were saying these guys are going to lose. I watched podcasts of Miami podcasters picking Miami to lose to Pittsburgh. You're entitled to do that. It's your right. And that's what you believe would happen. That's fine. People who have that opinion, that's fine. I won't always pick Miami. I'll be real. I won't always pick Miami in every game because I'm realistic. But that game, I had no doubt. If you watched my preview, I said the final score would be 45-10. Pretty close. We probably should have gotten to 45, by the way. 10 was being generous to Pitt. So I was pretty on point with everything that I said in my preview of that game. Hit Mason Heinchel hard, and they did it from the first damn play. Those guys heard all the noise from the outside, and they ignored it, or they let it fuel them. They let their own fan base, who was being very, very negative about them, fuel them. And thankfully, Shannon Dawson and Meyer Cristobal lightened up a little bit and allowed a quarterback to be a quarterback and playmakers to make plays and so forth. And here we are once again. Yeah, we could very well get screwed. And when I made my initial prediction of if we win out, we will get in, I have no doubt. It was also predicated on Alabama beating Oklahoma because I presumed that Alabama would beat Oklahoma. An Oklahoma that can't move the ball 3 damn feet. And actually, in that game, they barely moved the ball anywhere. But their defense created a bunch of points. Yeah, I would never have projected Oklahoma to win that game. If Oklahoma had lost that game, as expected, Miami would be sitting right now looking at the number 10 spot, at the very least, after Texas Tech beats BYU. In fact, I expect Miami to be ranked number 11 at worst tomorrow in the CFP. I expect Miami to jump over BYU. I do. 1 loss, 2 losses, I don't care. They got drubbed in their 1 loss. They barely beat a trash can Colorado team. They got 1 ranked win. And again, I use the word ranked as in ranked when you played. This whole thing about, end of the season, who's ranked? Well, that's hogwash. That's nonsense because if when I play you, you're ranked, that's how you're playing at that time, right? Why would Oregon's win over Penn State be used to help them, but then Miami's wins over South Florida and Florida State and Pittsburgh not be used to help us? Pitt was ranked when we played them a week ago on Saturday. Now they're not going to be ranked. They're already unranked in the AP. Look at Tennessee. They got drop kicked by Vanderbilt. They're still ranked number 26. They're the first team out of the poll, 8-4. Haven't beaten anybody all year. Missouri, 8-4. Ranked 25th. SEC teams that are 8-4 get ranked. ACC teams that are 8-4 get ignored. They're called trash. They're called bums. So they suck. The whole 9. Carson Beck had a spectacular season this year, people. We can look at the Louisville game, and I'll stand on what I believe in the Louisville game. I believe he got let down by teammates. I believe he got let down by his coaches. He got let down, and Louisville made some plays. It's that simple. I don't begrudge him. I don't blame him. I don't live in that world of blaming people a whole lot. I own what I do. And I know in college football, it's different than professional football. College football players largely follow what their coaches tell them to do. Unless your name is Cam Ward, you pretty much follow what your coaches tell you to do. And he's following instructions. It's that simple. It's really interesting how all of a sudden we have magically figured out how to get Malachi Tony the ball 15 times a game like I've been asking for. Magically, all of a sudden, 15 touches a game. For some reason, we couldn't get the man the ball against SMU. For some reason, we couldn't get the man the ball against Louisville. Why? Unprepared as a team, as a coaching staff? Because we sure as hell figured it out the last 2 weeks with Malachi having 25 catches and touching the ball over 30 times between the two games. Whether he's touching it as a quarterback, touching it as a running back, touching it in the Wildcat, touching it as a wide receiver, punt returner, he's touching the ball. He's touching the ball. Here's what makes the whole situation ridiculous. And this is why it's incredibly frustrating as a fan. I'm sure incredibly frustrating for the players. And even frustrating for the coaching staff. But before we continue there, just want to give a shout out to the sponsor of our show, Natalie Lopez. When life hits hard, the law firm of Natalie Lopez hits back harder. She practices in criminal defense work and family law in South Florida, covering the state of Florida. Based out of Fort Lauderdale, you can reach her at 954-888-8833. And you can follow her on Instagram at nat.guilty. Again, that's nat.guilty on Instagram. Appreciate you, Natalie, for your continued support of this show and this podcast. But they really focus heavily on this Notre Dame and how they've played since they lost their first two games. If the Miami Hurricanes had lost, they would never have lost their first two games because game two was Bethune. But if they had lost to Notre Dame and then lost to South Florida, where do you think Miami would have been ranked? Oh, wait. Put it in the comment. I mean, where do you think Miami would have been ranked? Let alone, let's do it this way. If Miami had lost 27-24 to Notre Dame and 41-40, exact scores for which Notre Dame lost, where would Miami have been ranked? Where would they have been ranked? I'd love to hear what y'all think in the comments. Because I know where they would have been ranked. They would have been unranked. They would have been unranked. Let alone if they had lost by the scores that they won by. So if they had lost 27-24 and lost 49-12, there's no question that they would have been unranked and they wouldn't have even been receiving votes. They would have been completely out of the conversation. And here's what makes this so damn stupid. They could have won the next 10 straight games. The nation would say they suck, but they'd be playing for an ACC championship right now. How ridiculous is that? I think South Florida is better than SMU. I think South Florida is better than Louisville. I think Notre Dame is better than Louisville. I think Notre Dame is better than SMU. South Florida kind of did what we did. They kind of choked their ass off at the wrong damn time because they crushed North Texas. But then they choked their ass off against Navy and choked their ass off against Memphis. And now you have a Tulane, North Texas conference championship game with the winner going to the playoffs. Think about that for a second. It's crazy, huh? It's crazy. That's the game, right? Let me confirm. Yeah, North Texas again, Tulane, 11-1 versus 10-2. That game is Friday night at 8 p.m. North Texas's only loss is to South Florida. I watched that game. That was an absolute shootout. North Texas can score points. They're averaging like 45 points a game. They got beat by South Florida 63-36 on their home field. That is a team that has put up 50-plus points 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times this year. Them dudes can score. Those dudes can score. But yeah, South Florida kind of choked their ass off and gave away an opportunity. I think South Florida is sitting at 11-1 right now. We as the Hurricanes also look a whole lot better, which is why I was cheering on South Florida every damn week so damn hard, because their success equals our success. And the fact that they're sitting here talking about how, oh my God, the wonderful Notre Dame lost to an undefeated Texas A&M as of last week, now defeated by a Texas team that lost to Florida, a Florida team that Miami crushed. Yeah, that team right there. That team right there. It's funny, huh? It's just the funny ways of how things work themselves out, unfortunately. But yeah, if we had won 10 straight after losing two of the first, so won 9, so technically if we won 9 straight after losing 2 of our first 3 games, we would probably be ranked 20th, but playing for the ACC championship right now, because nobody would have cared about our Florida State win, our Florida win, our SMU win, our Louisville win, but we'd be 8-0 in conference. The ACC has a lot of things they have to fix. I mean, we could be real about that as well. This is not excuse making. This is reality. And people are going to criticize Mario Cristobal. I'm a king critic of his, but you know this by now. But I'm not going to sit here and act like Manny Diaz did some spectacular job at Duke to go 7-5 while losing to UConn. I mean, come on now. 7-5 and losing to UConn, getting crushed by Illinois, losing to Tulane. I mean, got beat by 17 by Virginia. This is a team straight up that did not beat a team in the top half of the ACC besides Cal. Cal is they beat Cal and Clemson. Those are their two best ACC wins. 2 4-4 teams. So they're technically top half. So they didn't beat anyone in the top 6. They got drugged by Virginia and they lost to Georgia Tech. The rest of their games, like Forest, who was also 4-4, North Carolina, who stunk, Syracuse. They beat NC State. NC State did not finish in the top half of the ACC. They're also 4-4. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4-4 teams in the ACC this year. 5 of them. And it's even worse. This one's even worse. The fact that Virginia, the only game that they won this year, that matters, is the Florida State game. Because they lost to NC State. 35 points to NC State. They lost to Wake Forest, 16-9. They beat Duke. Yeah, they beat Virginia Tech. They beat Louisville. Kudos to them. They didn't play a team in the top. They didn't win a game over a top half ACC opponent all year. Okay, Duke was their top half win. They didn't play SMU, didn't play Miami, didn't play Pitt, and didn't play Georgia Tech. This is what the ACC created when they went away from the Atlantic and the Coastal. Yes, Cal did. Cal beat SMU. Cal beat Louisville. And I bet if we played Cal right now, we beat them by 30. It is kind of what it does. I mean, Stanford didn't take Miami to a 1-score game. Miami beat Stanford 42-7. What are you talking about? Miami beat Stanford 42-7. So I don't know what 1-score game we're speaking of here, Michael. Texas A&M was down 30-3. I'm glad you brought that up, Frank. Texas A&M was down 30-3 to South Carolina, and they get cookies for coming back and beating a horrible football team. Four minutes left in the third quarter. Miami beat Stanford 42-7. I mean, you can call it whatever you want. Miami beat them 42-7. I mean, I don't know what you want. They were up 28-7 going into the fourth quarter. I mean, if that's a 1-score game to you, okay. I guess, it was 14-7. Yeah, okay, you're right. With 3:48 to go, it was 21-7. Great. And Notre Dame was 12-10 against 1-11 Boston College. So, I mean, is this how we grade games now? Because we're only grading one team now. Only one team gets graded. Miami gets graded against itself, and everyone else gets graded against nothing. Losses don't matter for anybody else. Score doesn't matter for anybody else. Heck, against NC State, Notre Dame led 10-7. At the same time, their Miami led NC State 31-0. A week after NC State's coming off of a bye week after beating Georgia Tech. I mean, hey, again, Miami fans are interesting because Miami fans are kind of telling me that we deserve to not make the playoffs. I think you're crazy. There are Miami fans that truly believe this team doesn't belong in the playoffs. Then I don't know how you call yourself a fan. I mean, I'm a realist. Do I think we should be a top 5 seed? No. Should we be in the playoffs? Absolutely. Have they done enough to make the playoffs? Absolutely. I believe they're better than most of the teams in the playoffs. But that doesn't get you ranked ahead of them. What should get you ranked ahead of them is the literal criteria created by the CFP that dictates, not is a recommendation. When you make a criteria, I'm not blowing a gasket. If you were here when I started, I said, if we don't get in, we don't get in. If we don't get in, we don't get in. That's it. We don't get in, we don't get in. I've made videos the last few days, and I've been triggering a whole bunch of Notre Dame fans. I got a Notre Dame fan right here in my phone, and I will read you what this Notre Dame fan sent me direct message on Facebook, because every video I post on Instagram gets moved over to Facebook as well, right? So I'm going to read you what was said. I agree. This is from a Notre Dame fan. I agree that Miami should be ahead of Notre Dame, but I'm damn sure glad they aren't. We just better hope BYU and Bama lose this coming Saturday, because if they both win, we're both out. And he ain't wrong. I think he's right. Because yeah, I think that would knock Notre Dame out too, wouldn't it? So that's a Notre Dame fan. That was a direct message to my Instagram post. These are the messages. I mean, I'm getting direct messages from people. I mean, people that I don't know, making me feel like I'm some type of important person. I'm not important. I'm insignificant, man. I'm a nobody. But apparently, I'm enough of somebody to have attracted all these Notre Dame fans that I got 100+ comments. 100+ comments right now on multiple videos from Notre Dame fans telling me why I'm telling me why head to head doesn't matter in football, telling me why it's irrelevant in football, damn well knowing that if this situation was in reverse, that Notre Dame would be screaming to the mountains about how they beat Miami head to head. Screaming to the mountains. Yes, Miami needs Bama and BYU to lose. Absolutely. That to me is the only way Miami gets into the playoffs, because I do not believe the committee is going to all of a sudden have an epiphany and jump us over Notre Dame. Albeit, if they had any credibility, you know who would drop absolutely is Oklahoma. Because Oklahoma shit the bed against LSU. There is nothing on earth that would sit here and tell you that Oklahoma is a better football team than the Miami Hurricanes. All you got to do is watch the games. You just got to watch them. Again, we got comparative results with Oklahoma. We got comparative results with Alabama. We have a head-to-head with Notre Dame. I mean, it's not like we just got one thing. We got 1, 2, 3, 4 different things that are head-to-head or comparative against these 3 teams. Yet somehow it's been deemed insignificant or irrelevant. And I just got a message from here. This is from Barry Jackson from the Miami Herald, posted on X. 24 hours from now, we better not be hearing Hunter Yurachek telling Reese Davis about Notre Dame having better losses. That's not a thing until this committee miraculously came up with that to justify the gap between Notre Dame and in ratings. We just today, if you hadn't seen it by now, the athletic director of the Miami Hurricanes, of the University of Miami, Dan Radakovich, who spent 4 years on the college football playoff committee, didn't even realize it. It was messaged to me today. Didn't even realize that he was on the committee for 4 years, which also frustrates me a bit because the man should have been talking 4 weeks ago. The man should have been opening his mouth 4 weeks ago. Because this whole situation is all political. It's all about politics. I'm not going to say it's about money, because the Miami Hurricanes draw more attention than Oklahoma. They definitely are on par with Notre Dame and Alabama. Miami merch? Dude, when Miami was on top of the world, Miami merch was the hottest selling shit on the planet. Yeah, I'm not hiring Coach Prime. You need to stop that shit. Not happening. That's insane. Please don't do that. Miami merch, like you go back to the 80s and 90s, Miami merch was the hottest thing on earth. Are you kidding? Miami draws, bro. There's a reason Miami was on TV at night. Literally the first 8 weeks of the season, it seemed like. Every damn week we're at night. Every damn week we are at night. Which drove me nuts because it got me home at 2 o'clock in the morning. But radio is trolling. That's what he's doing. He's trolling. So, yeah, man. Oh, man. But yeah, I don't want to hear that it's about money. It's about there's a political component to it for sure. And that means that you as the AD, commissioner of the ACC, should have been opening your mouths 4 weeks ago when they came out with that initial ranking that had Miami ranked number 18. Do I want Shannon Dawson back next year, or do I want an upgrade? I don't even know anymore, man. Because once they opened up a little bit, you saw the difference. But I need someone who's going to have autonomy to run the offense and not have someone else interfering with it. And if that means that we need somebody else, then so be it. We need somebody else. But our offense the last few weeks has looked awesome to me. Not with tempo, but with execution, with play calling has been way better. I wasn't a huge fan of all the minutes Mark Fletcher got over Gerard Pringle. I'm completely transparent with that. You want to know what's funny is if Duke wins, it would be the destruction of the ACC because they wouldn't even get into the playoffs. They would legitimately be left out of the playoffs. I don't want to play Tennessee. Fuck that. I don't want to play Tennessee in the play. Playing Tennessee in a bowl game is a waste of time. Vanderbilt, I'd play them in a bowl game. I'd be happy to play Vanderbilt in a bowl game, but I would not want to play Tennessee. And I'm going to be real. If the Miami Hurricanes don't make the playoffs and I got 15 players opt out and say I'm not playing in a bowl game, then we should not even go to the bowl game. We should not even go to the bowl game. Do not go to the bowl game and get your ass embarrassed because you're playing with half a team. Don't do it. Don't do it. Do not expose we cannot expose ourselves to bullcrap like that because it will be used against us. Don't even go. If they're going to opt out, don't go. If I don't have my players playing, I have no reason to play in this damn bowl game. Because if you look at our defense, Mesidor is a senior, Bain is a senior, Jacoby Thomas is a senior, Teray is a senior, DeSaint is a senior. Not a lot of seniors on that defense. They all opt out. I mean, we got last year's defense potentially. Shit. And then offensively, I think Carson Beck would play. But if he didn't, forget about it. Like, why even bother? Why even bother? Heck, it wouldn't completely shock me if Malachi Tony said, I'm not playing in the bowl game. What's the point? Like, it wouldn't shock me. None of this stuff would shock me anymore because this is what college football has allowed to happen. This is what college football has allowed to happen. Guys can opt out and still be on the team. They can opt out. They can say, "I'm not playing. I don't want to risk injury in a meaningless ass game." That's how they view it. They view it meaningless, like it's meaningless. This is what college football has created. The bowl shouldn't even exist anymore. It should be the playoffs, and that's it. You get 16. It should be 16 teams. I've always said that. You get 16 teams in the playoffs, and that's it. If you don't make the playoffs, you don't continue to play. The season's over. The whole bowl game concept to me is the corniest crap ever. Nobody goes to most of the bowl games. Most of the bowl games are empty. They're empty. The stadiums are empty. Who the fuck goes to the Birmingham Bowl? The Weed Eater Bowl? How many empty seats would you think will be at the Pop-Tarts Bowl? Come on. Like, how many times can we go have a Pop-Tart? Or back in the Russell Athletic Bowl or the Champs Sports Bowl or whatever the hell else bowl you want to call it now. That bowl's had like 14 different names. Was it the Blockbuster Bowl at one point? I mean, come on. Bowl games are stupid at this point. It makes no sense. It's pointless. So I can't even say that I would blame them for not playing. Because I mean, hell, that's what I think Florida State should have done when they went 13-0. I wouldn't have played in shit. Because what happened is exactly what happened. They got blown out by a team that largely played most of its guys, including its starting quarterback. And FSU had 3/4 of their starters just bail out. And they had no shot. Not to mention that they were down to their third string quarterback because their backup transferred. Like, there's no point. And then all that does is it creates that narrative of, oh my God, we told you they sucked. We told you they sucked. We told you. Like, come on. But Dan Radakovich finally opened his mouth today the AD, who has been on the committee for 4 years. 4 years. He knows exactly what the rules are. He knows the criteria that they set. He called them out on it, as he should have done 4 weeks ago. Don't know why he waited so damn long. He pointed out the criteria. It's not a data point, it's the data point. The. He also pointed out all the numbers that show that Miami's been pretty much the best team in the country over the last 4 weeks. I mean, for Christ's sakes, Carson Beck has statistically been the best quarterback in the country the last 4 weeks. All of these things are facts. Y'all remember when Ohio State was the 5 and they had a 14 playoff? And I found this to be very, very ironic because I was listening to Cardale Jones, no less. He played for Ohio State on that team. And remember, he was the third string quarterback, if I recall. He wasn't even the backup. He was the third guy, I thought, if I recall correctly. And they end up playing Wisconsin, a mediocre Wisconsin team, in the Big Ten championship. And they are the 5 seed. And TCU was the 3 seed going into the damn weekend. Going into it, man. Y'all remember what happened? And this is why I kept calling for them to score and score and score and score some more. That's why I was calling for it. Score until you can't score anymore. Because no matter what they say, it ain't true. We all know that what the score is gets looked at. We all know this. Why? Because they're literally using it against us. Think about this fact right here. TCU was ranked third going into conference championship weekend. And Wisconsin blows out, Ohio State blows out Wisconsin 58-0. 58-0, right? You want to know what TCU did in their conference championship game? Do you recall? If you don't recall, I'll refresh your memory. They beat Iowa State 55-3. 55-3. Apparently 55-3 wasn't enough to keep them in the playoffs. But 58-0 was enough to jump Ohio State into the playoffs at number 4. TCU got dropped to number 6, and Baylor was number 5. You beat someone 55-3 as the number 3 team going in to that weekend, and you get dropped 3 spots by a committee of idiots. And the only reason they got dropped to number 6, get this. You know why they got dropped to number 6? If you don't recall? Because they played Baylor during the season on the road and lost 61-58. And they finished 11-1, and Baylor finished 11-1. I believe that was Robert Griffin III. No, I'm sorry. No, it wasn't. It was Petty. It was Bryce Petty. So they win 61-58. A week later, they lose to West Virginia 41-27. They go 11-1. And what happens? They get knocked out of the playoffs too. But TCU ends up being ranked behind them. Why? Head to head. I mean, come on. And Wisconsin jumps up because they beat somebody 58-0 in the Big Ten championship. And then Cardale Jones ends up leading the Ohio State Buckeyes to the national championship. They beat Alabama 42-35, the number one seed in the first round or the semis, and then beat Oregon 42-20 in the national championship. Based on Cardale Jones's logic, because he sure as shit said that Miami should not get in. Motherfucker, you just benefited off the same shit. You just benefited off the same shit you're saying Miami shouldn't benefit off. You're an idiot. You benefited off of exactly what you're saying Miami shouldn't benefit off. A great performance to end the season. A great performance to end your season. A dominant, great performance. I mean, you got a team that dropped 3 spots. 3 spots. Shit. Oh, boy. That's crazy, man. Yeah. So there's so many things that, I mean, but Dan Radakovich went off. He said what he said in the tweet. I mean, but again, Dan, where were you 4 weeks ago, man? Why weren't you chomping about this 4 weeks ago? Mario Cristobal, why weren't you talking about this 4 weeks ago? Because we still had a win over Notre Dame 4 weeks ago with the same damn record. Yeah, we lost. Okay, so what? You want to know what? Alabama just lost to Oklahoma. And what did they do? They moved Alabama behind Oklahoma. Would you imagine that? Imagine that. And both of those teams have looked like straight up dog shit the last 2 weeks. Alabama 1 week. Oklahoma looked like shit versus Missouri. Oklahoma looked like shit against LSU. And those guys don't move an inch. Remains the same. 12 out of 13. 12 out of 13. Identical record ties with head-to-head games. And 12 of them. All 12. The winner of the head-to-head game was ranked ahead of the loser of the head-to-head game. One exception is us. The Miami Hurricanes and Notre Dame Fighting Irish. Would you imagine that? I mean, it's like every single piece of ethics and integrity are thrown out the window. And I'm not an excuse maker, but I am a truth teller. I mean, this is nuts. This is nuts. Nick Saban, I did the video. If you saw it, thank you, Greg. Thanks for bringing that up. Tell me, and Michael Smith, I see your comment as well. Arkansas law. I'm sorry, I should have these things popped up. My bad, guys. First, Arkansas lost all SEC games by 5 points per average. Yeah, they were according to them, they were the best 2-win team in the country, which is utterly laughable. But they were called the best 2-win team in America. Didn't they lose to Texas A&M by 3? Yeah, Notre Dame crushed Arkansas. I think Notre Dame is better than everybody in the SEC. I think I'm not shitting on Notre Dame, people. I think Notre Dame is damn good. I think Miami's win over Notre Dame was massive. It was humongous. It was a huge win. Huge. Like, that win was massive for the season. It was really the only game that I expected to. I was on the fence with a little bit. It was the only game. I was on the fence on that game. We played them today. I think we dog walked their asses, personally, because I think we're way better today than we were then. I think they're better than they were then, but I think we are way better than we were then. But yeah, Arkansas gets beat down by Notre Dame, and they are in every SEC game they played pretty much. And yet, hey, hey, shit. Then you got Nick Saban, who's on television before we played Pittsburgh, prior to the Pittsburgh game, sitting here telling you Miami is the most dangerous team in the country. They would be the most dangerous. When he says they're the most dangerous team in the playoffs, that's the most dangerous team in the country. That's because the playoffs is the country. The playoffs are it's the country. Those are the best teams in America. So yes, if Miami was in the playoffs, they would be the most dangerous team in the playoffs, according to Nick Saban. Greg McElroy pretty much followed suit. Those are two former Alabama people. And they're sitting here with a team ranked above us, literally telling us, yo, them boys are bad. I wouldn't want to play them. Because everyone's seen what's happening over the last 4 weeks. That's why this eye test thing about how Notre Dame has looked amazing. Really? Did you watch them play USC? Oregon beat USC worse than Notre Dame did. I watched both those games. Notre Dame wasn't all that impressive against USC. Oregon pretty much housed USC. Like, I was never a thought that USC was really going to win that game. Once it started, you didn't see. I mean, did anyone think that Oregon was going to lose that game to USC? I mean, going in, I thought maybe they have a chance. But once the game started, I was like, oh, yeah, it ain't happening. It ain't happening. You know, I see your question. I'll jump in a second. Oh yeah, first 45 minutes of Miami is dangerous. Yes, it is. First 45 minutes of yeah. Well, if Miami's up, see, here's the thing: if Miami's up by 3 touchdowns going into the final 15, and you keep your starters out there, you're pretty safe. But the problem is that doesn't give you brownie points for committees. But yeah, all of these teams, all of these, I just saw Colin Coward, Paul Feinbaum. I think the Feinbaum one's probably somewhat Alabama biased as well, but Paul Feinbaum, Colin Coward, Chris Felica, the Bear from ESPN, Nick Saban. I mean, how many people? Hell, if you watch my video, Aaron Taylor, former Notre Dame football player, former Notre Dame All-American football player, lineman. If you don't know who he is, look him up. That dude said on camera, I don't think we want to be going into the world where head-to-head wins don't matter. But I ain't mad that it's happening for us. Basically saying, yeah, Miami should be ranked ahead of us, but I'm not going to argue it this time. Because you damn well know that if it was the situation was in reverse, he'd be losing his absolute shit. He'd be losing his shit. Because head-to-head, and when you're an athlete, more than when you're a fan or whatever, when you're an athlete and you do this, you're like, then why do we even play? Oh, Scott Van Pelt also. Yes, I did see him. Both those guys on the Scott Van Pelt. It was Scott Van Pelt. What's the other guy he's with? Is that is that the gambling guy? The bad breaks guy? Oh, Danny Cannell. Yeah, he's been saying it all season actually, for the most part. He was a big rider of Miami early on this year. But Aaron Taylor basically said it without a thought. He was like, "Yeah, I'm happy that we're the benefit of it, but Miami should be in the playoffs. Miami should be in the playoffs." And again, I'm going to repeat this again. I don't think Miami should be in the playoffs in lieu of Notre Dame. I think they should be in the playoffs with Notre Dame. Because I think Notre Dame is one of the best teams in America who had a fluky ass loss to Texas A&M. Like, they lost kind of in a fluky way. 4th and goal from the 11-yard line. And all they had to do was they needed to score a touchdown. And it was a great play that was made, but kind of a fluky way they won. If you watched it, I think they should be in there with them. Heck, in the perfect scenario to me, Miami seeded number 8, Notre Dame number 9, and you can come back to the scene of the crime, and you can show me on my field that you're better than me. And if you do, you know what I'll do? Tip my cap to you, shake your hand, and say, congratulations, you beat me. That would be it. But if you come here and I dog walk your ass, I expect the same in return. I wouldn't even mind going to Notre Dame and doing it to them. I wouldn't even. I don't have a fear of the road right now. Like people have fear of going on the road. When you have a top shelf defense, it doesn't really matter where you play. We just beat the freaking hell out of Pittsburgh at Pitt, and we got Hurricane fans that were petrified of it being 35 degrees. This team is not this. This team is not those teams. Like this team is not those teams. Last year we didn't lose at Syracuse because of cold weather. It's a dome. We lost because we had no defense. Our defense was brutal. You know, I would be perfectly content playing Notre Dame in the first round and let this shit happen. Let this shit fall where it does. We win, we move on, we lose, we go home. But I guarantee you it would be one hell of a game. It wouldn't be some 37-17 type of game. It would be one hell of a game. We haven't been blown out this year. Hell, we don't play a style of football that would allow us to get blown out because there's so few possessions, because we play so damn slow that it's damn near impossible for us to get blown out. What I believe should happen, Booger McFarland has been all over us. He loves us. Yeah, Stanford Steve. That's it. I haven't seen Eric McLean and Taylor Tenenbaum, but I mean, Desmond Howard loves Miami. Booger McFarland was wearing a goddamn green suit and an orange tie on Saturday. I don't know if y'all noticed that. He was wearing a green suit and an orange tie on Saturday. And basically being a pom-pom carrier for the Hurricanes. I mean, seriously, he was. But I will tell you this, and this is what I would do. And the reason I would do it like this is very, very simple. It's very simple. Alabama and BYU can win their way into the playoffs. They can win their way in. And I don't think either team is going to win on Saturday. But I also don't want to hear this committee make up some ridiculous excuse that, oh, shit, well, we're not going to punish them for losing. Then why the hell are you even playing the game? If you're not going to punish someone for losing, why are you playing? This isn't like you're having Ohio State play Indiana 1 versus 2 or 3 versus 4 or even 5 versus 6. You're talking about 10 and 11 who are playing. 11 is playing, what, 5? I think if BYU wins, Texas Tech should be out. I'm being real. Go look at who the hell Texas Tech played. Their schedule's dog shit too. They have an unranked conference loss. They lost to Arizona State, unranked, 8-4. Why don't you hear people calling that loss a terrible loss? Why don't you hear them calling Arizona State a bad team? Why don't you hear that nationally? Why have we not heard that one damn time? Bad loss to a bad team. We haven't heard that once, have we? Not one damn time. It's been ignored. It's like it never happened. You go look at Texas Tech schedule. Who they beating? Utah? Have y'all seen Utah? Have we seen Utah? Utah's defense looks like Miami's defense from last year. Seriously. They can't stop a runny nose. They can't stop a runny nose. I'm glad you brought that up, Jake. I'm glad you, because I'm about to hit on that as well. They beat Utah 34-10. Who cares? And they beat BYU. The rest of their schedule, Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, Oregon State, Houston, Kansas, Arizona State, who they lost to, Oklahoma State, Kansas State, UCF, and West Virginia. Come on. Is this for real? Is this for real? This is the schedule for Texas Tech. They've played 2 ranked teams. 2 ranked teams. We played 4. We have 4 wins over ranked teams. And you're saying that you can't drop them out because they were 11-1 in conference during the regular season? Why not? Why the fuck not? I think if they lost, they should be dropped out too. They don't have a schedule to support staying in the playoffs. Beat the team in the regular season at home, then lost to the team on a neutral site. I hope they beat BYU to keep that from happening, but I don't think they should be in the playoffs. if they were to lose. So my whole logic to all of this is that you put Miami at 8, you put Notre Dame at 9, you put BYU at 10. I'm sorry, Bama at 10. No, I'm sorry, Oklahoma at 10, Alabama at 11, and BYU at 12. BYU can win their way into the playoffs the same way Alabama can win their way into the playoffs. You can still have Alabama behind Oklahoma. And then when Bama loses, you don't have to make it an excuse to keep them in there. And when BYU loses, which we know, I think Miami will pass them tomorrow. I think Miami will be ahead of BYU tomorrow, personally. You don't have these excuses built in to say, oh, well, we can't punish them. Why the fuck? Again, why the fuck not? Then why are we playing? Why are we playing these games? There's no purpose. There's no purpose. There's no purpose at all. In fact, I would tell you exactly what Jake says right here. Right there. Miami should cancel the Notre Dame game next year. Cancel it. Cancel it. If the shit doesn't matter, cancel it. Because you goddamn well next year if we lost them, it would fucking matter. It would fucking matter. So, yeah, if don't matter, cancel it. Replace it with an NC State. Replace it with an ACC game that doesn't matter. The same way Virginia did. The same way Virginia did. Replace it with a game that doesn't matter. Because otherwise, what's the point of playing? Why do we play these games? Why schedule Notre Dame if at the end of the day, equal record doesn't get us what we need if we win? Because next year we damn sure if we lost at Notre Dame, you goddamn well know. If it was the opening game of the season, you damn well know they would hold that shit against us. No question about it. No question about it. What's good, orange and green blood? I appreciate you, man. Thank you, man. Let me give a shout out to everybody here. Greg, Chef, Orange and Green, Patrick, Giovanni, Jake, Joe M, Frank, Duke, Jennifer, Aiden, Primetime, Wally Abed. Let's see if I miss anybody. Michael Smith, Geo Kane. Appreciate you, bro. If I missed anybody, my apologies. Throw me another comment in there, and I'll get you in as well. But man, yeah, if Miami doesn't get in and they don't use head to head, then there's no point in playing them. In fact, there's no point ever playing anybody good ever again in the non-conference schedule. Puff it up with the bitches that the SEC plays, because that's pretty much. Go look at Alabama's non-conference schedule. Go look at it. They played Florida State. That was their tough team. Alabama's non-conference schedule, Florida State was the tough team. They played UL Monroe, a trash can, Wisconsin, and Eastern Illinois. That was their non-conference schedule. Garbage, 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 and garbage. Trash across the board. That's their non-conference schedule. You can look at most of these teams' non-conference schedules. Most of them suck. Look at Georgia's non-conference schedule. Marshall, Austin Peay, and Charlotte. Oh, and Georgia Tech. Of whom they almost lost to. See, that's also kind of funny, right? So Georgia Tech, the ACC Georgia Tech is so damn bad. Got the shit kicked out of it by Pittsburgh at home. A week later, lose to Georgia by 7 in Haynes King's probably worst game of his life. One of the worst games he's ever played. And they have a chance to tie it in the last second with a Hail Mary from the 50. I mean, they were that close. They were that close. Miami is a marquee matchup. See, that's the whole thing. We can't sit here and say it's about Miami and not sit here and say that Miami is not a marquee matchup when they're putting Miami to play at night for the first 7 weeks of the season or 6 weeks of the season, whatever it was. The only game that we played in the first, heck, it ended up being a night game, was South Florida, and that ended up a night game because of the rain delay. But every game, Notre Dame was that night, Bethune-Cookman was that night, South Florida was that night, Florida was that night, Florida State was that night, Louisville was that night, Stanford was that night. The first 7 games we played were at night. They only put marquee teams on at night. They only put marquee teams on at night. So that's the thing. Like, don't tell me that we're not marquee when we're playing at night pretty much every freaking week. Don't tell me that. How many night games did Ohio State play? They're so marquee. I think they played like twice at night all year. If that. Did they play twice at night this year? I don't recall. I know they played they played Michigan at 12 noon. It's always a high noon game. Always a high noon game. But this is my main message to Radakovich, my main message to Mario Cristobal, my message to the ACC commissioner. Hell, if I think that, why should we stop scheduling Bethune-Cookman and FAMU when Georgia can play Austin P and Charlotte and Marshall? Like, come on, man. There's got to be a game in there where you could get some reps for your backups. That's literally why those games are played. Those games are played for development of players who don't normally play. So yeah, it sounds great to say, oh, we should get rid of them, but the other teams aren't getting rid of them. In fact, most of these other teams play 3 ducks. Look at who the hell Oregon played to start their season. Did you see who Oregon played to start their season? Well, we played an SEC team. We can't help that Florida was trash. We didn't make them trash. South Florida was 8-3. We have a win over Notre Dame. You want to know who BYU played in their non-conference schedule? Portland State, Stanford, and East Carolina. And they struggled with Colorado. Are you kidding? They literally have a freaking week 11 game in the SEC designed to give these guys a break, to give them an off week. We're sitting here having conversations about schedules. Go look at who the hell Texas Tech played in their non-conference. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, Kent State, Oregon State. That's their non-conference. You want to know what those teams are? Oregon State, 2-10. Kent State, 5-7 in the MAC. Arkansas, Pine Bluff, 3-8 in the SWAC. Are you serious? This is their non-conference schedule. Like, we got to stop this shit. And this constant, everyone's saying that ACC sucks all the time. No, I don't agree with that. It doesn't suck all the time. You've been literally freaking mentally mind-fucked by clowns in the media who have said, the ACC ain't that good. Bro, really? Well, if the ACC ain't that good, then SEC sucks. Because a mid-level, mid-bottom, actually not even mid-level, a bottom half ACC team beats the shit out of their fucking number 1 seed. Beat the shit out of their number 1 fucking seed. Get out of here. We all play these teams because we give them a check and they come down. Now, I will say this. If Bethune-Cookman and or FAMU is not going to bring their band, let's find somebody else. Because I ain't got no fucking interest in watching Bethune-Cookman or FAMU and then watching the Miami Hurricanes band of the hour. Bruh. No disrespect, but people ain't buying tickets to that game to watch the UM's band. They're buying tickets to watch the Bethune or the FAMU band. And the last 2 years, those motherfuckers left their bands at home. So, yeah. Our conference is just as large. Our conference has 18 fucking teams. That's why you got to go back to divisions. You got to be in divisions. What would the divisions be right now? Because you know what would happen if we had divisions in the SEC in the ACC? What would happen? Let me go back. Let me go back. Let me go back. What was the year last year? All right, let's go back. We were in a division with Pitt, Georgia Tech, Virginia, Tech, Duke, and North Carolina. So we would have played Virginia. We would have played Georgia Tech. We would have played Duke. We would have played the teams that we would have played these teams. We would have played them. We would have played them. We would have played every team that we needed to play. You don't think we would have beaten Manny Diaz's Duke? Come on, man. Unless Mario Cristobal completely shat the bed for that, I don't think we have much problem with Duke this year. I don't believe we have much problem with that team. You got to go back to divisions. That's it. I mean, you want to keep expanding your damn league when you done fucked your league up. Because your league has we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We got 17 teams. So you'd have one division with 9 and one division with 8. Heck, you'd have to add one more to make it 9 and 9. So you play 8 conference games, 8 at the bare minimum, and then maybe you play a 9th, and then say that you don't count that 9th as a conference game because it would be across to the other side of the bracket. So let's say you don't even count that game as a conference game because we all know that can actually be done because it happened this year with Virginia losing to NC State. Everyone's too large now, but that's a problem. We've now created, I know, we played the last month without 7 starters. I'm aware of that. Very well aware of that. Oregon's got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm sorry, Big Ten. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. They got 18. It's no different than us. So we got 17. They got 18. The SEC has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. They got 16 teams in the SEC, by the way. So there's 16 in the SEC. 17 in the ACC and 18 in the Big Ten. You can just very well go back to divisions. Or if you don't want to have divisions, guess what you got to do? As a conference, you got to change some shit up. The only team that has a bye, that has is getting into the college football into the ACC championship, is the team that is number 1 seed in the ACC. That's it. Then after that, you got to look at who your best team is. And you could base it off who's ranked highest. You can literally base it off of who's the highest ranked team. If the highest ranked team is not your number 1 seed, then the team that plays them is your highest ranked team. Because this shit right now with Duke is the most embarrassing fucking crap I've ever seen in my life. The most embarrassing crap. Yeah, epinephrine. I did talk about the AD tweet. Yes, I did talk about it. I'll bring it back up. No problem. Again, I agree. Why do they want to put us on TV if we're so fucking irrelevant? We don't draw money. We don't draw attention. No, we're one of the most watched teams in the country. We have been. We've been. You understand how people took us as? And look, I know what Miami Hurricanes have been for 20 years. Largely mediocre, largely trash. But yet, every time they beat us, every time somebody beat us, they acted like they didn't know what to do with themselves. So let me ask you this. When you're good or you've been good, a loss should never be better than a win. Agreed. Completely. Well, they play 8 conference games because they don't have divisions. They can have divisions and play 7 conference games plus 1 on the opposite side and then make it 8. We could do the same thing in the ACC. Play 8 and then have or play 8 and then have a ninth one cross division so we can keep playing Florida State. But think about this for a second. Think about this. If you have this, this is for next season because they're not the. I think the ACC commissioner should have been the second he saw that Duke was going to the ACC championship. He should have fucking nixed that shit immediately. I know that sounds messed up, but for the sake of your conference, it would have been, yo, I'm calling the Duke president. I'm like, yo, sorry, it ain't happening. Yo, this shit ain't happening. You guys are gonna get done. There's no fucking way. There's no way. Yo, coach, AD, president, I'm so sorry. But there's no fucking way we will compensate you generously. Do not worry. We will contribute to your NIL fund. We will contribute to the NIL fund of your school because we cannot potentially have you beat a trash ass Virginia squad because Virginia ain't very good. They ain't play nobody. They ain't play nobody in the top fucking 5 except for Duke. Top 6 except for Duke. And yeah, we're not doing this. So yeah, we're gonna put our number one team, which is Miami, into the ACC championship because we actually want to have a team get to the playoffs. And as is right now, if you somehow beat Virginia, which is quite possible, if you actually look at the number, Virginia's a 2.5 point favorite. 2.5 point favorite over Duke. There's not even belief. There's belief that Duke can win. And you know what would happen if that happened? The ACC could potentially not have a single team in the playoffs. That's the destruction of your conference. I'm going to tell you what. Miami has 2 options. They got 2 options as a school, as a program. If Duke wins, it'd be absolutely fucking comical because they're not going to get in the playoffs. The way the damn thing was written out, and Josh Pate has gone over this multiple times. Hey, Harudu Guru, hey, bro, I don't know. I don't know how, but you go look at it right now. You can go look at it right now. The line on this game right now is 2.5. I'm sorry, it's 3.5. It opened at 2.5. It opened at 2.5. It's 3.5 right now. You want to know why they think that Duke has a shot? Because they got a good quarterback. Darian Mensah is a good quarterback. Go look at his numbers. Darian Mensah is thrown for 3,450 yards, 28 touchdowns, and 4 picks. He's legit good. He's legit good. But that phone call would even the ESPN predictor only has it at 56.3 to 43.7. But legitimately, straight up, no bullshit. That's what the ACC commissioner should have done. Because his conference has the possibility of being completely fucking embarrassed and not having one team make the playoffs. Potentially. It's a possibility. I knew Texas would beat Texas A&M, by the way. I knew Texas was going to beat. Texas A&M has been an imposter all year. They have played. I mean, they have puffed up their record on the dumpsters of the SEC, the bottom half of the conference. Played tough games against Arkansas. Played tough game against South Carolina. I mean, they barely squeaked by. It's almost like they're not paying attention. You know what I look at? You know how I view Texas A&M? Like BYU. That's how I view Texas A&M. I view Texas A&M like BYU. By the way, if you're new to this show, man, I appreciate you jumping on board. We've never had this many people here on a Monday night, a Hurricanes Unfiltered Live, so I greatly appreciate y'all jumping on board. If you haven't done so yet, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you are not subscribed. I'd appreciate it so very, very much. We drop content on the Hurricanes pretty much every day, along with other topics as well. I do cover combat sports. I will be on Friday night at the BKFC event at the Hollywood Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. If you are a fight fan, you got to be at the Hard Rock on Friday night. It's going to be absolutely fucking lit. If you've not seen BKFC, bro, I'm an MMA fan. BKFC, yo, They've converted me over from MMA because watching guys lay on people for freaking 5 rounds, like I had to watch Makachev do and Shevchenko do last month. Nah. You need to go watch that damn Lorenzo Hunt, Josh Dyer fight. Oh my God. I knew A&M would lose. Yes, I did. I actually predicted them to lose. I picked them. Go watch my videos. Michael, you can go watch my videos. I literally said A&M was going to lose to Texas. That was the one that I had most confidence about because I think Texas. I'm literally watching Texas A&M. I'm looking at what they've done and who they've played. Have you not paid attention? They got lucky. Look, they got lucky against Notre Dame. Lucky. They've played University of Texas San Antonio, Utah State, Auburn, Auburn, 5-7. They won 16-10. Mississippi State, 31-9. Florida, 34-17. Arkansas, 45-42. You should. Because I've said it over and over again, actually. I said it on the live last week. Hell, I said it on Wednesday on my live. I mean, I have no reason to lie about it. It was the one game that I really felt confident that would happen was that Texas was going to beat Texas A&M. 45-42 against Arkansas. 31-30 South Carolina. What makes you think that this is some team that's going to go into Texas and win? What makes you think that they were going to go into Texas and win? And I don't think Texas is that damn good, but I don't think Texas A&M is that good. I don't think Texas A&M is that good. And they showed us. Texas A&M, who do they play? I'll tell you this. The only way Texas A&M makes it out of the first round, if they make the playoffs, which they should, as they've been glazed and all that shit. Who would they play in the first round as of right now? Alabama. So that's not going to happen. They're not going to play Alabama. So let's say they had to play Notre Dame in the first round. You think they beat Notre Dame again? Do you? I watched the game. I watched the Notre Dame Texas A&M game. I watched that game. You think Texas A&M would beat Notre Dame again? I don't. I don't even think the game would be close. I don't think that game would be close. I think Notre Dame would rout them. I do. Like, I'm not a hater, bro. I hate Notre Dame, but I also recognize how good that team is. I think Notre Dame would crush those motherfuckers because that team should have lost. Understand this, folks. Think about this for a second. If Miami played, who's 2-10 in the ACC? Who's 2-10? Who's 2-10 in the ACC? Try not to go off the screen here. That's why. And South Carolina is 4-8. If Miami played a 31-30 game with Stanford, what do you think would be happening right now? 31-30 game with Stanford. If Miami was down 30-3 at home against Stanford and won 31-30, do you think that Miami would even be ranked in the top 15? No, they wouldn't even be in the top 15 right now because they would be literally using those games against us. They would use those games against us. Arkansas's got 2 wins. They did not win a conference game. South Carolina, they beat Virginia Tech. They beat SC State. And they beat Coastal Carolina. And they have 1 conference win against Kentucky. Alabama struggled with South Carolina. A&M struggled with South Carolina. LSU struggled with South Carolina. Missouri had a 2-score game with South Carolina. If Miami played a 31-30 game with Stanford, the way A&M played with South Carolina, Miami would have dropped probably 5 spots in the rankings. And we all know it. If Miami had played a 45-42 game against Arkansas, 2-10 Arkansas, whose only wins on the season are Alabama, A&M, and Arkansas State. If we played a 45-42 game against Boston College, for example, what? And they did this twice. If we did that once, we would be sitting ranked number 18 right now. Miami was up 24-10 on Notre Dame. Yeah, people forget that. We were up 24-10 in the fourth quarter, 21-7 in the fourth quarter. Auburn just had Alabama falling over itself and needing. Did y'all watch Alabama Auburn? The play that Ty Simpson got the first down on the 4th and 1, there was such a blatant hold on the right side where the guy who was about to tackle Ty Simpson got completely tackled right in front of the ref. And they didn't call it. You think Ruben Bain gets held? That dude was tackled directly in front of the ref right when he's about to make a tackle. They didn't call holding. It was as blatant and obvious a holding as you can see. Yeah, when the SEC does it, it's gritty. It's championship caliber performance. It's all that bullshit. It's not real. Yeah, Miami and South Carolina agreed to not play because they have to, because I think more so the SEC is afraid of us, but they say that it's because they both have to schedule a certain amount of games for the conference games or whatever. It is what it is. Oh, when Sarkeesian, that guy was comical. He was comical on the interview. But you want to know what? I appreciate that. You want to know why I appreciate that? Because that's your job. That's what you're supposed to do. It's like I gotta get Mario Cristobal to be a fucking politician. I gotta start. But again, like I said, Miami A&M had 2 of those games. Miami had none of those games. If Miami had 2 games, one game like that, Miami's getting crushed. If Miami had a game that looked like Notre Dame versus fucking Boston College, Miami's getting crushed. Oh, they're getting crushed. Auburn had the ball. I thought the coach fucked it up by not calling timeouts. I think it created an uncomfortable situation for a team that didn't have a very good offense. And how many balls did Auburn drop this weekend? Like 8? It's like they dropped every other fucking pass. Between them and LSU, I feel like I'm watching some of the most inept offense in the country. Oklahoma might have the worst offensive team of anyone ranked in the top 50. If you've watched Oklahoma play football, their offense is brutally bad. They literally use this exact reason to keep Florida State out of the top 4 and throw Alabama in there a couple of years ago. John Mateer is a shell. Yeah, he completed a couple of passes. You knew that Oklahoma couldn't drive the field. They would need to have a big play happen to win or have a chance. And they literally got 2 passes that went for big plays. A screen that went 45 yards and a bomb on a broken coverage. Other than that, they couldn't drive the ball 10 fucking feet. OU and LSU was like watching Little League football. And you might be more entertained watching Little League football. I think Bama and Oklahoma both if people like to use terms like this teams suck or they're bad, I think Oklahoma and Alabama suck. I think they both suck. I think they're both awful. Winning close games doesn't make you good, in my opinion. Not in college. And if Miami doesn't make the playoffs, yeah, if I'm Miami, I drop Notre Dame next year. I'm not playing you. For what? For what? So you can then use this head to head against me next year if you beat me on your home field? Come on, man. Come on. Miami was specifically called out for its offense by the committee. So what does Miami do? Over the next 4 weeks, scores 151 points. They average 37.75 points per game. Their defense completely locks down opponents, 10.25 points per game. Average win, 27.5 points over the last 4 weeks. And in that same time, Oklahoma scored 17 and 17 and 23. I mean, yeah, 4 touchdowns on average the last 4 games. And we know that we could have scored a whole lot more if not for Mario slowing this shit down and playing that boring fucking tempo that he plays. I have said from jump that playoffs should be 16 teams. I've always felt that way. It makes no sense to give anybody a bye. It's illogical. It's illogical to give anyone a bye. Just have 16 teams. Why is it that it's so easy for the Division one AA to have 16, Division two have 16, Division three, Division four, Division 12, NAI and NAIA? Everybody seems to have 16 teams except for the dumb motherfuckers in Division one football. Miami has an elite defense. Last year, our defense couldn't stop a high school team, and we have a very good offense now. Because mid year, our offense was but better than Oklahoma's. But now we have a pretty good offense, I'd say, as well. There's like 5 or 6 coaches on it, but they're all like 100, man. That's the problem. Like you have ads on there, and you know those people didn't play shit, or they don't even watch the games, man. They can sit here and lie to you and say they watch games. If they actually watch games and they've actually saw what was going on, they'd recognize that Texas A&M had 2 games in which their combined opponent had what was 6 and 16, and they won one game by a point and one game by 3. I mean, it happened. It actually happened. It actually happened. Happened. And the only good team they played, they lost to after Notre Dame. Sorry. I believe if they played Notre Dame today, that Notre Dame would crush their ass. Why isn't Marcus Freeman talking about that when he talks about Notre Dame? Why doesn't he talk about Texas A&M? Why not talk about Texas A&M? But let me get back to Sark, by the way. Sarkisian for Texas. He has to. That's his job. And that's what pisses me off about what's been going on with Miami is I have not heard that from anyone in the Miami program for the last month. So for fuck's sakes, why aren't you doing your job? And part of your job is to be pounding the phones and talking to people and voicing it publicly and social media and all that shit. Folks, I'm gonna say this again. I'm gonna say it like I said. I did a video earlier. Was it today or last night? You can agree with me or disagree with me. And I'm not saying that he's gonna win the Heisman Trophy, but Malachi Tony is the best player in America. Malachi Tony is the best football player in America. 18 years old. He's the best player in the country right now. Can't speak for next week, the week after, next year. Right now, Malachi Tony is the best player in the country. He is the best all-around football player in the country. I challenge anyone to name me someone else who does more for his team than Malachi Tony. If Malachi Tony is not on our team, we're 7-5. No shit. No bullshit. If we don't have that kid on our team, we are 7-5 right now. Period. There were massive, massive questions coming into this season. And the funny thing is that Notre Dame used that same excuse for why they lost to us. Oh, we had a red shirt freshman quarterback. We have a new defensive coordinator. Motherfucker, you got a goddamn Heisman candidate running back. Arguably the best running back in the country coming back. What are you talking about? You played for the national championship last year. Our defense couldn't plug a fucking faucet. Yes, AD is half polished. I don't think any ADs should be on this committee, realistically. They're all biased. They're all very biased. But Malachi Tony does more for the Miami Hurricanes football team than any player in America. If you want to tell me Jeremiah Smith is a better wide receiver, I won't argue it. You want to tell me he's a better player? I would. Does Jeremiah Smith do more for Ohio State than Malachi Tony does for Miami? No, not a chance. Who is our number 2 wide receiver? Do you even have any idea? We have no clue right now. You know how many balls CJ Daniels caught on Saturday? 2. He didn't catch a pass until the final drive. I understand he's been injured, the whole 9. We don't have a number 2 wide receiver. We have a Malachi Tony, and then we have whoever the fuck else might get open. I don't agree with you, Herod. I don't agree with you at all, saying that other kids would step up and we would still be smashing shit with or without Mally. You're crazy. I don't agree with you. I do not agree with that. And I don't think a lot of people would agree with that. You think that we would be smashing shit with or without him? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Who would be stepping up? Please tell me. Who? Who? You tell me. I'll wait for you to tell me who the guys would be. Bro, this guy was doing it week 1 against Notre Dame. He was 17 fucking years old, bro. He was doing it versus Notre Dame. JoJo, 6th on the flipping depth chart. The same dude that dropped the pass that cost us the flipping SMU game. Bluntly, bruh. If you think this is a 10-2 team without Malachi Tony, yo, we just fundamentally disagree. Saying if Carson had thrown to someone else, they would be good. That's easier to say when it's easy to say. Easy to say. Not as easy to do. Because you develop confidence in certain guys. You saw who actually won the game for Alabama last week against Auburn. I don't know if y'all know that. Realize who it was. You know who kicked Auburn's ass? Who kicked Auburn's ass last week? If you were watching, Isaiah Horton had 3 touchdown passes. Isaiah Horton kicked Auburn's ass. You say without JoJo, we're a 7-win team. Are you? Okay, you're trolling now. Our offense is efficient because of him. He's our offense. I'm trying to not go off on that. I think you got to go back and watch the games again. I really think you got to watch the games again. Because that dude has done it on punt return. He's done it as a receiver. He's done it as a goddamn quarterback. He's done it as a goddamn quarterback. You want to know why we lost Isaiah Horton? You want to know why we lost him? Do you know why we lost him? Because his family didn't trust Mario Cristobal. Motherfucker would have been the number 1 receiver coming back. And he left because they didn't trust Mario Cristobal. When Isaiah Horton left, my stomach sank last year. I'll be real. Malachi Tony is the Heisman Trophy winner, in my opinion. I know he's not going to win it. I understand he's not going to win it. This is the weakest Heisman class ever in my lifetime. Malachi Tony is not just catching the ball. Have you watched this kid block? Which games do we lose without Tony? We lose to Notre Dame. We lose the first game of the season. You think we beat Notre Dame without Malachi Tony? We lose the first game of the season. Shit, we probably lose to Virginia Tech and Pitt without him. He's the offense. JoJo barely played any snaps. And then, yes, against SMU, he dropped a pass that caused an interception that changed the entire trajectory of the game. I don't care how much you play. When you're out there, you better make the damn play. Otherwise, you don't need to be on the field. You think we're light years better without Tony? All right, bro. Okay. Okay. I don't even know what to say. I don't even know what to say. I'm going to post this one. You think we are light years better without Malachi Tony on our team? Are you sure? Is that what you meant to say, bro? He is an elite blocker as a wide receiver. He is an elite route runner as a wide receiver. He is elite in yards after catch. We won 27-24. He was our leading receiver in the game. Okay. All right, I'm not gonna argue with you. I think Miami's ranked 11th tomorrow. I think we're gonna be number 11 tomorrow. I think we'll jump over BYU. Some people, yeah, we would have been 7-5 without Cam Ward. That one's even more obvious. Without Cam Ward, we might be a 500 team last year. Do you think we're a 10-2 team in the regular season with Emory Williams playing quarterback? Without Cam Ward, we lose to Cal. We lose to freaking Virginia Tech. Let me go back to the schedule. Those off the rip, we lose both those games. Both those games. We probably lose at Florida because he was the reason we won at Florida because we had no idea what we had going into Florida. Let's go. Let's take a look. Let's go. I'm here for it. Yes. Without Cam Ward, we're 7-5 last year at best. Virginia Tech and Cal back to back. Louisville 52-45. We lose that game. That's three right there. That's three right there. We beat South Florida 50-15 last year. 50-15. We beat South Florida last year 50-15. That game was like 15-14 in the second quarter. We probably would have lost that game. Yeah. With the defense that we had last year, we led the country in scoring and offense. The country in scoring and offense. And we still lost 2 games because our defense couldn't stop nobody. We might have been under 500 last year without Cam Ward. We're definitely 7-5. Just off those 3 games alone, Virginia Tech, Cal, and Louisville, we lose all 3 of them without a doubt. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. They'd be called different. Yeah, they'd be called different because we wouldn't have shit. We'd be scoring 20 points a game. The 5th game was Virginia Tech. That's when we started getting gashed last year. Yeah, I really do look at how the other guys, and I don't think the other guys are remotely nearly as good. And I damn sure know that Emory Williams couldn't have held Cam Ward's jockstrap. There's a reason they went and got another quarterback and they didn't start Emory Williams this year. God, can't believe this is a debate. I can't believe this is actually a debate. Y'all don't have confidence in my team. I'm the one that's been saying that Miami will make the playoffs for the last 4 weeks. What are you talking about? My team is predicated on the players that are on it. My belief is based on the players on the team. So you just blindly believe in whoever we throw it onto the field is going to be great, right? Because for the last 20 fucking years, the Miami Hurricanes have had top 15 recruiting classes, and I think 17 of them. And yet, for the last 20 years, we have now 3 10-win seasons over 20 seasons, and only, I think, 2 more for 9 wins, and the rest of them are between 5-7 and 8-4. And a large majority are between 5-7 and 7-5, 7-6. And I'm not going to say the other one because I got stupid kids next to me who will repeat it and start making it sound stupid because we were 6-7, I think, once. I mean, come on, bro. Come on, bro. We would not be 10-2 without Malachi Tony this year. Man, I need whatever the hell you're smoking or whatever it is. I need you to give me some of it because you can sit here and talk about coaching all you want. You can talk about coaching all you want. You could give us Nick Saban and that this team would not win freaking 10 games without Malachi Tony. Come on, dude. Come on. You give me whatever coach you want. This team is not winning 10 games without Malachi Tony. Not a chance. You think Ohio State's undefeated without Jeremiah Smith? Do you realize that the reason we didn't win games? You realize I really want to dig into on this because I think you're, and I'm not questioning your football knowledge. I think you're crazy in what you're saying. No, he's that important. That's how good he is. Who is his backup? Ray Joseph, who hasn't sniffed the field? For some reason, people blindly believe in him. He ain't sniffing the field. Heck, I was told he's actually a running back. I was told he was actually a running back. Well, he ain't playing running back. He ain't playing slot. I don't know if he's trolling or not. I don't know if he's trolling because I don't know him. You want to know how many catches? How many did he have against him? You know who our leading receiver was against SMU? Yardage wise was Trader. Catches wise, Malachi had 9 catches for 70 yards. You want to know why? Because we did not put him in the position to make plays. Because every damn pass we threw to him was a swing pass for a screen. If you've noticed, we're not running those screen passes anymore. We're not running those same bunch screen passes to Malachi Tony because they know exactly when it's coming. Because it's so goddamn obvious. You think no other receiver can step in that slot and No, I don't. I don't. No, I don't. I do not. We do not have depth like that at this program. Depth like that does not exist anymore. I do not believe that. No, I don't. I do not. Not for one fucking second. Not a second. No, I don't. You're watching a kid you're watching honestly the greatest all-around football player ever in the history of the Miami Hurricanes. Then he's not special if you think we're still 10-2. Shit. He ain't if he's special, but then without him, we're still 10-2. Then he's not special. That's literally what you're saying. Malachi Tony is yes, he's Restrepo on steroids, high level steroids. Do I discount how Saban could have utilized? No, I'm not discounting it. I talk to people, man. I know people within the program. I talk to people who are around it all the time. He's the best fucking freshman in the nation. He is the greatest all-around offensive football player the Miami Hurricanes have ever had. And he's doing it as a freshman. Like when I talk about this guy, I'm looking at him like Santana Moss. And Santana Moss didn't do this shit as a freshman. I don't believe any special coach could. Why do I need a special coach keep this team to 10-2? Half y'all people think Carson Beck sucks. Like, need I remind you, a lot of y'all? A few weeks ago, Carson Beck, you wanted to throw him into an incinerator and cut him into pieces. No, that's not why. That's not why. Because the picks against Louisville, go look at the picks against Louisville. One pick, Malachi Tony was wide open, and a DB made a fucking tremendous play, cutting all the way across the field. Not to mention, Malachi Tony got tackled on it. It was pass interference. Another one was to Joshua Moore, where Moore didn't fight for the ball. I believe it was Moore, but it wasn't Tony. And then, because if it was Tony, there's no way that ball gets picked. Another one was to guess who? Who was the other one too? Elijah Lofton, who wasn't fucking looking for the ball on a hot read. So there was 3 different picks right there. I don't know who the 4th one was because that was when the left guard completely olayed the fucking block on 3rd down and he threw the pick. And a play later, we got a fumble. Come on, man. And heck, the pick that Beck threw against freaking SMU, the first one was JoJo Trader's fault, not Carson Beck's. Carson Beck ain't perfect, but some of y'all were saying Carson Beck is the worst quarterback on the planet. Where's my guy Elite Cuban Kane at? He's not here tonight. Some of y'all were saying he's the worst QB on earth. Come on, bro. Y'all were killing Carson Beck. Y'all said that dude was trash. A lot of y'all saying that dude was trash. The pick against SMU in the end zone, yeah, Malachi Tony ran the wrong route. He drifted way too far up. It was a crosser. He drifted up. It's a mistake. It shit happens. Shit happens because if he's actually where he's supposed to be, it's probably a catch. At worst, it's incomplete. Carson Beck, y'all were talking about this guy was the dog shit, bro. Come on, man. Miami's roster is not loaded. I don't agree with that. It's not loaded. Who plays tight end for us? Who plays tight end for us? Who plays tight end for the Hurricanes? We lost 2 games. We lost 2 games because our tight end couldn't catch. Didn't Bauman? Okay, Lofton dropped one in the end zone against SMU. Another play that cost us the game. And didn't Bauman drop a touchdown pass as well this year? I think we lost that game. Was that the Louisville game? If I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong on that one. So we got, he got drilled. He's a fucking 200. He's a damn tight end. The ball was thrown to his backside. All he do was catch it and fall to the ground. That was some bitch ass shit. Please stop it. Lofton dropped it against SMU and Bauman dropped one against somebody. I thought it was against Louisville, if I was not mistaken. Oh, there were wins. Okay, so Lofton's drop against fucking SMU cost us that game. Another thing that cost us that game. But Carson Beck is the reason. Carson Beck is the problem. I don't care if you get drilled. You're a fucking tight end. Catch the goddamn ball. He got hit. It's football. It's football. Y'all don't know what being drilled is because back in the day, you got drilled when the ball got to you. You weren't allowed to hit the ground with it. And they put a helmet into your ear hole. Now they put forearms into your chest, and we call that getting drilled. Please, man. Please. We got players that made mistakes that cost us games. And people still blame Carson Beck. Like I said, y'all were You would have crucified Carson Beck to the cross, stabbed him in the ribs, and watched him bleed the hell out. The way some people were talking about Carson Beck. We don't have a tight end. You want to know what the tight end does for a quarterback? We're underusing these guys because they're not good. They're not good. What makes you think they're good? Lofton can't block, which is why he doesn't line up on the line all that damn much, which is why mostly he's at an H-back spot or outside. Shockey would have held it. Winslow would have held it. Bubba Franks would have held it. Coleman Bell would have held it. Greg Olsen would have held it. Clive Walford would have held it. Elijah Arroyo would have held it. Come on, man. Come on, man. You got to be real. Are we really sitting here? Are we really sitting here talking about the tight end got hit and that's why he dropped it? Come on, bro. Come on, bro. Like, stop. Stop. And I'm happy that Bauman played well against Pitt. It was so refreshing. I actually agree with you. But tell me, when he was running down the field in the middle of the field, were you petrified that he might fumble the ball from behind? Were you petrified that he would have the ball stripped out of his hands? Because I was like, cover the ball, please. Cover the ball, please. I don't care. He didn't get drilled that hard, man. Man, did you play football in the 90s? Wally, I bet. I mean, dude, did you play football in the 90s, the 80s? I was literally like, please, dude, just cover the ball and run like this. Because if he does this, I think they're going to rip that ball out of his hands. I'm happy the kid played well because I'm going to give you credit and I'm going to criticize you when you don't do well. Oh, man, I watched them drop. Bauman's drop passes all season. What Bauman has dropped passes all season. It wasn't an all of a sudden thing. He's been dropping them all year, dude. My own sons are watching this guy like, how is this guy playing football? Come on, bro. I mean, I'm very, very honest about this stuff. These two tight, you saw what Carson Beck looked like with Brock Bowers at tight end. Give a tight end for a quarterback as an outlet. It didn't even matter. Like, look at Patrick Mahomes. It doesn't even matter who plays wide receiver for him or until this year. It hasn't even mattered because he has Travis Kelce, who is glue for him, who is his guy at all times. I mean, for Christ's sakes, Tom Brady with Gronkowski. You give me a tight end that can play football, you change. Dude, he wasn't drilled that hard, bro. I'm telling you right now, he wasn't drilled that damn bad. You got to fucking hold the ball. You got to hold the ball. You're making excuses, man. These are excuses. That ball should have been caught. I don't give a goddamn. I completely disagree with you. The ball was caught here. Why the fuck are you turning around? You're in the freaking end zone. Catch it, hit the ground. No, you don't know what he wanted to do? He wanted to turn around and do a spike or do a dance. Catch the ball and hit the ground. Any good damn tight end catches that ball. Any good tight end catches that ball. No, I know that Lofton's not a true tight end. He's fucking 6'2", 6'3", 230. That's why I said let's move Joshua Moore to tight end at one point this season because he wasn't playing. And I said, how about putting him at tight end since basically Elijah Lofton is basically a glorified big wide receiver who can't really run and can't really catch. You think the play calling has been so different to catch? What did Elijah Lofton do besides the one touchdown catch that he caught from Malachi Tony in that game? He did absolutely nothing. He had one catch, 9 yards, touchdown. You could have caught that. I could have caught that. Anybody could have caught that. He was by himself. My 13-year-old son could have caught that ball. Come on, guys. Come on. Come on. Yeah, when they gave him a carry, I was petrified. You kidding? You thought that was a good. You think that's a good decision to give a tight end? You think it's a good decision to give him a carry? Come on, I disagree with you, bro. We disagree. I don't know what you're watching that you think nothing's been horrendous. But Carson Beck was horrendous, right? Carson Beck's been horrendous, right? Because he was horrendous. Y'all wanted to freaking you said I've been saying he's a top 10 QB all year, and I got y'all, a bunch of y'all saying he's not even the top 5 QB in the ACC. Come on, dude. Like I got y'all saying he's not even the top 5 QB in the ACC. You are I got all these videos on recording, bro. I could bring them all up and show the comments. I could show all the comments that y'all were making. A lot of y'all were making about Carson Beck being awful. Awful. Lofton's listed at 230. He's listed at 230. And by the way, Bauman is a transfer out of Tulane. There's a difference between Tulane and Miami. That's the difference. There's a big difference catching 65 passes at Tulane and playing at Miami. Carson Beck is not the fourth or fifth best QB in the ACC. He's the best QB in the ACC. Come on, stop it. Stop it. He's the best QB in the ACC. Stop it. It's like not even close. It's not even close. It's not even close. Please. It's not even close. Okay, Mensa's pretty good. Okay, 7-5. And they played nobody all year. Duke's played nobody all year, and they're 7-5. I just told you that Mensa has had a great year. Haynes King ain't better than Carson Beck. Stop. Haynes King ain't better than Carson Beck. Stop. No way. No way. Haynes King will be lucky to get drafted. He's a running quarterback who doesn't throw the ball very well. I mean, I was listening to some of y'all freaking tell me that this guy can't play, but yet I don't think he's 40. I think he's 39-5 now. I think he's 39-5. No, let me see. No, he's 30. Okay, no, let's back up. He's 13-1. He was 24-5 coming in. He's 34 and he was 24-3 coming in. He's 34-5 as a college football starting quarterback. And people are talking about he can't play football. Come on, bro. He's 34-5. 34-5 as a starting quarterback. Come on, man. And he's played an entire season. Like, I don't think y'all understand. I don't think there's people that truly understand. Like when I got into covering this team this year, because this was a decision that I made, because some of y'all know my background. If you don't know my background, I was one of the founders of InsideTheU.com. So I don't know if any of y'all, if y'all know, but InsideTheU.com is under the 24/7 Sports banner. I presume you know because you're here. But InsideTheU.com, I helped found it. I'm one of the founders with Chris Stock and David Lake. Just to give y'all some background on me, if you don't know who I am by now. I'm just giving you my background. I covered the team for Kane's time for a long time. Oh, dude, if we don't have so you believe that without Beck we're not 10-2? I agree with you there. If we have Emory Williams at quarterback, we're 7. We might be 6-6. We might be 6-6. But I covered the University of Miami for a decade. And one of the reasons that I left Inside the U, I sold my piece to David and Chris, was because realistically, I moved to North Broward. I wasn't driving to Coral Gables. It was always a part-time thing for me. It was never a full-time job. For them, it was full-time. For me, it was part-time. All right. We started off, Chris was the editor at Kane's Time. I jumped on Kane's Time when I was just graduating college around there, maybe a little bit thereafter, right before. I never had the pleasure of covering. No, it was a little bit after I graduated college. So I'm covering for the Miami Herald, for the Sun Sentinel, and I'm doing Kane's Time. And I'm going to every game. And I was the person that took all the photos from the field. So I bought our first camera. I took the pictures from the field. The shitty pictures that we had, I'm the one that took them. And I'm damn sure not a photographer. And so I covered them for a very, very long time. I covered recruiting. I despise covering recruiting. I hate it passionately. I know I'm going to have to get into it a little bit to bring y'all content in the off season, because if I don't, then there will be no content on the Hurricanes. And recruiting is a major part of all this stuff, right? I will cover basketball, but once football's over, I'll cover basketball. Like right now, I couldn't care less about the basketball team. I'm just being real. So I decided in the summer, late summer, I said, I've got this podcast that I've been doing for just over 18 months. And I'm like, I need to expand it. I want to cover Miami. I think it would be a great move to cover Miami. And I reached out to the University of Miami directly. Okay. And I requested a credential. And I was granted a credential. The guy who was there now in charge of it was there when I was covering with Inside the U. So he knows who I am. I have not been thrown out yet, despite my critical ass videos. Thankfully. Thankfully, my critical ass videos have not gotten me tossed because, I have said some mean, unnice things at times. Doesn't mean I don't believe them, but I've said some unnice things. And and so when I got into covering again, just to give you some background, I talked to people and I said, what are your real thoughts? What are your real thoughts? Because I'm coming off of a 10-3 season. What are your thoughts? And the response I got from most people who have been around the team all year was, we don't have any idea what we have at wide receiver. We don't have a clue. We don't know what we got at tight end. That is from every person I talked to. We don't have any idea. Because none of these guys were here last year. Except for JoJo Trader and Ray Joseph, none of these dudes were here. Malachi wasn't here. CJ Daniels wasn't here. Keelan Marion wasn't here. Josh Moore wasn't here. We got two running backs that are both power backs that don't run very fast. And we don't know what we got with Jordan Lyle. And we got Carson Beck, who we don't really know because he's coming off elbow surgery. We don't know how good his elbow will be because they only give us limited amount of time to watch practice. And he hasn't practiced. He didn't practice in the spring. He didn't practice in the summer. He practiced for maybe 2 to 3 weeks before the season started. And that is what you got for the first game of the season. So when I'm listening to those dingbats for Notre Dame talk about how, well, we got a new defensive coordinator. We don't have a new quarterback. Well, so do we. And we also had the worst defense on the planet last year, and we have a new defensive coordinator also. So what's the difference between y'all and us? The difference is you got a freaking Heisman Trophy running back there, and you went to the national championship, and we got our asses mud stuff. We lost our last 2 games, giving up 40 fucking plus points. But the point is we had no idea. So most people were saying 8-4, 9-3, maybe 9-3. Like, people weren't talking. I was probably the most optimistic person of them all, saying, nah, man, we're going to beat Notre Dame, bro. We're going to beat Notre Dame, bro. And I'm like, I don't know. We were underdogs in that game. Isn't it interesting how Notre Dame forgets that they were the favorite in that game too? Oh, Wally, I bet I already said I think Malachi Tony should win the Heisman, and we're not marketing him. He should be. They should spend the next 2 weeks just pushing his name for the Heisman because I don't want to hear about Fernando Mendoza and Julian Sayin. Tell me what. Can you name one singular play that fucking Julian Sayin has done this? One singular play from Julian Sayin this year, and one singular play from Fernando Mendoza, besides the touchdown pass against Penn State, for which his wide receiver made an incredible play on. You can't. But I can give you an hour of highlight footage on Malachi Tony. This motherfucker had a one-handed grab and a touchdown pass on the same drive. If Malachi Tony ain't in the top 4 for the Heisman, there's something wrong with people. Okay, Julian Sain is a 5-star quarterback, by the way. He's a 5-star quarterback, but I don't want to hear, he looks like he's 13, but I don't want to hear that this guy has done. I've watched them. He doesn't do anything special. Every wide receiver he throws the ball. Okay, that's their job. Catching the ball is your job as a wide. Do you get a cookie? I mean, a freshman can win it because they're about to hand it to Julian Sain, possibly. He is a freshman, a redshirt freshman, but he is still a freshman. He is still a freshman. And if he wins it, a freshman will win. How did he become a candidate? He wasn't a candidate when the season started. That's a failure of the Miami Hurricanes football program. How was Malachi Tony not being marketed? How is Malachi? Well, who gives out the stars? National recruiting websites. But who gives out the? I mean, how is Malachi Tony not by week 5 being pushed for Heisman? Diego Pavia is not going to win. Albeit, I will tell you this: Diego Pavia has more oh my god moments than Mendoza and Julian Sain. And if you take Diego Pavia off of Vanderbilt, watch what happens next year. They'll be trash. They'll be trash next year. Vandy will go back to being Vandy. I want Virginia to win. I don't want Virginia to lose. It would be a disaster. I want Virginia to win. I don't want to. I can't. I would. I don't want to see Virginia losing. Doesn't help us. Virginia losing does not help us. Does not help us at all. There's no help in having them lose to Duke. Nothing at all. I want Virginia to crush Duke, to expose this farce that Duke is playing for a conference championship at 7-5, because they have a puffed up trash can schedule. Yeah, I want Virginia to win. I don't want to see them lose. I'll be damned if ACC doesn't have one playoff team if we don't get in. I would be damned. That would be ridiculous. I know it's hard for the freshmen to get a push, but it's your job, your marketing of your school to do the push. Like the school needs to push. You know, the mayhem I wanted was last week, and I wanted to see everybody lose last week, and that would have been the mayhem. That was the mayhem that I wanted SMU to win. Once Duke won, I wanted SMU to win. Really, what I wanted is I wanted all those fuckers to lose, but I wanted SMU to win. So, because at least we could ride on the fact that SMU could be the ACC champion, and then we could say, oh, so our bad loss to that bad team won the ACC championship at 10-3. I mean, realistically. No, I'm not a fan of Manny Diaz. I wasn't a fan of Manny Diaz when he was down here. The day he lost to fucking FIU, they should have been fired that day. The day that Manny Diaz lost to FIU, he should have been fired that day. Should have been fired that day. So, yeah. I would have been marketing the hell out of Malachi Tony for Heisman, because as a player individually, he is the best player in the fucking country. And name me somebody better. Name me somebody better. Not at a position, but all around as a football player. Because Travis Hunter wasn't the best wide receiver. We all know that. He damn sure wasn't the best cornerback. But he won the Heisman. Why? Because he played both ways and they looked at him as the best player. Malachi Tony is the best player. Jeremiah Smith is a better wide receiver. He's not a better player. Not to me. Jeremiah Smith does not do more for Ohio State than Malachi Tony does for Miami. Do you agree or disagree? Malachi Tony has more catches than Jeremiah Smith, more yards than Jeremiah Smith. He returns punts. He plays quarterback. He plays running back. He gets the ball in a variety of ways. He breaks tackles. I don't even know what his yak is, but his yak must be off the chain, because the guy gets hit every damn time. He breaks the tackle on every play. Jeremiah Smith might be the best wide receiver in America. He ain't the best player in America. I know that's the narrative that's been pushed. He doesn't do more for Ohio State than Malachi Tony does for Miami. He doesn't. It's data proven. What hole does Malachi Tony have in his game? Malachi Tony is one of the best blocking wide receivers I've seen. He takes that shit personally. Look at him block. Look at him block. I think that's what I respect about him more than anything, is the way he blocks. High pointing the ball. He's catching mostly. I don't know what. I mean, I've seen him high point the ball, but okay. He's the best freshman in America. He should be first team All American All Purpose. I don't even think it's debatable. Well, this is going the wrong direction, obviously. The point was, I think Malachi Tony is the best player in the country. And I think he should win the Heisman, and I think Miami should be spending the next week marketing the shit out of him and trying to push it. Like, really push it. Because whoever wins, if it's Mendoza or Sane, wake me up when it's over. Because nobody will care. Nobody will care. And you want to know who's going to win? The winner of the game on Saturday. That's who's going to win. The winner of the game on Saturday will be who wins the award. I agree with you, Wally. That to me is what wins the Heisman, the most impact. You have more impact on your team than anyone else. What he does is crazy. I think he should be at New York. If he's not, it's sad. They got Jeremiah Love in there. They got a linebacker from Texas Tech in there. A linebacker. He's like fifth in the odds. A linebacker with 104 tackles. Do you want to know what 104? You know what Ray Lewis would look at somebody who had 104 tackles in a college football season? 104 tackles from a linebacker? A linebacker? Bruh. Ray Lewis had 152 tackles in a 12-game season, including a bowl game. Remember the Dan Morgan years? CJ's had some ridiculous catches. Sure. That's his highlight. He's been good. He's also been out for 4 weeks. 4 weeks. Did CJ Daniels play against SMU? No, he did not. I think if CJ Daniels plays versus SMU, Miami wins. It's a pretty significant injury. To not have your number 2 receiver, you're probably your biggest playmaker on the outside, not play against a team that is susceptible to the deep ball. I think if CJ Daniels plays that game, we win. But again, can't cry over spilled milk. Well, people, I appreciate y'all being on board tonight. I thank y'all for jumping on, man. I thank you genuinely from the bottom of my heart. If you are interested, the merch is still up. The code is good through 11:59 p.m. You can go over to let me pop the link in here so you see it. Oh shoot, nope, I want to do that. This is the link to the Hurricanes Unfiltered collection. Type in Hurricanes 25. You get 25% off on your order through 11:59 p.m. tonight. Imagine me being blocked for my own content, saying that I'm spamming myself. Interesting. That's funny. I got blocked. YouTube rejected my comment. Oh my word. How is YouTube rejecting my comment on my damn show? That's crazy. I'm serious. YouTube just rejected the comment on my own freaking show. That is hilarious. That is absolutely hilarious. Let me type it into YouTube directly. Maybe it gets through then. Hurricanes 25. Okay, there we go. It got through. Hurricanes 25 is the code, 25% off your entire order. I do appreciate y'all. Do follow us on social, Hurricanes Unfiltered on IG. Please do keep sharing the videos, man. I appreciate every single one of y'all. Trying to think about whether or not I'm gonna do a live on Saturday. I don't know yet. Maybe just watching some of these other. I have no idea. I don't know. But we do have a live show on Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. Myself and my partner Nick, we're doing the full podcast, and yeah, man, I appreciate y'all. I will be praying tomorrow. I might go live. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe I'll go live right after, but I'm definitely gonna do a recording of it, and hopefully we're ranked at least 11th. I hope it's higher, but crossing fingers, man. We'll see what happens, people, man. But do hit that like button. Yeah, I did. I haven't seen the On3 interview yet. I have to check it out. I need Mario Cristobal to spend the next week screaming. I need him to spend the next week screaming. I need Dan Radakovich to spend the next week screaming. I need every one of those national guys that are chomping for us to keep on pushing it. I need every podcast on Miami football to keep pushing what these national guys who are on our side are saying. That's why I do those videos, because they get actual viewership. Nick Saban video gets truckloads of viewership for what I have in terms of following. So yeah, guys, push it all out there, because we gotta. At the end of the day, they can't say that we didn't do everything that we could to influence whatever we could influence, even though we don't influence much. But hey, I do believe the media does have influence on committee members, because for God's sakes, the AP poll is nothing but media, and they use that damn poll. There is before we go, top 25 AP voters football. There is a link for it, um, that shows who voted for whom. And there is a voter that had us ranked number 17 this week. 17. 17. Show detailed rankings. How in the world are you a voter and have the Hurricanes ranked 17th? Where is that? I want to pull that up. Where is that damn thing? You all. I'm going to be doing a video on it, because I'm going to expose that clown. I'm going to expose that clown, because I think it's embarrassing that you could call yourself a voter and sit here and tell me that the Miami Hurricanes are ranked 17th. I mean, come on. Brian, we're about to wrap up, man. We're about to wrap up. So do check out the recording of this, but I'm gonna get a video on that as well, man. Again, once again, I appreciate all y'all. I thank y'all for jumping on board. Do hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. And as always, man, it's Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.